Hello! So I decided to do the planning tag. I know a lot of moms do this when they're trying to conceive, but some moms also, when they're tagged, do it after they have conceived. Obviously we have, we're 34 weeks now, but I thought I would take part in this. So if this is something that you want to do, I tag you as well, and you'll find the questions that I was given down below as part of the video in the information section. So there is 23 questions. This is all based on our preference and opinion. So I don't, if there's something that you don't agree with, it doesn't mean that my way is not the highway. This is just the way we do things. So I hope that this, because some of the questions on here are pretty controversial. So number one, will you find out the gender? Yes, we found out the gender. We're having a girl, but we're keeping her name a secret. That is our element of surprise. I have to have everything ready or I'll go batty, and I didn't want neutrals, so I needed to know ahead of time. Will you use a pacifier? If she'll take one, yep. We used one for Faith, and we did not have a problem with it. We did not have a problem weaning her off of it either. I was very surprised. I was anticipating having to use some sort of strategy to get her off of a pacifier, but she was amazing. Literally almost cold turkey when she was about two. Not even quite 2. She was 1 and a bit, almost 2. So yeah, if the baby will take a pacifier, then I have no qualms with that. Do you have any nursery ideas? Yes, we have the Kokolo Taffy collection is our baby crib bedding set, and so we're kind of basing her nursery off of that and kind of theming the colors scheme around that as well. Are you the first, middle, or last of your friends to conceive? When we had Faith, we probably would have been one of the first. It's been a little while now, and I'd say we're probably around the middle. Quite a few of our friends are having children now, so yeah, we're probably around the middle or last. Will you use hand-me-downs? Yes, I have no problems using hand-me-downs. So if you're watching this and you have babies or children that are around my children's age, I'll take them. I love to shop too, so don't get me wrong. Like I like to go out and spoil us sometimes, but I definitely love to get secondhand also. How close in age would you like your children? Well, Faith and the baby are 5 years apart. That was done on purpose. We just, at first we weren't even sure if we were going to have any more, and then when we decided that we did want to have another, I don't know, I just wanted to space them out a little bit. My stepdaughter is 4 years older than Faith, and now Faith will be 5 years older than this one. So a lot of people like to do them close in age. My sister and I are about 3 years apart, and we're close, and Kevin and his sister are 5 years apart, and they're really close, so I know it's doable. But yeah. Where am I here? 7. Will you make your own baby food? Yep, I never did with Faith, but I definitely will look into that more now, this time around. Especially with all the recalls on the baby food nowadays. I don't have any problems using baby food. I know a lot of the baby food brands that are here. We live in Canada. They're great, and you can buy it organic and those sort of things. So I have no problem using jarred baby food, but I also will try, to make my own too, and also just as like a money saver. Will you co-sleep? No. I never did that with Faith, and Faith was an amazing sleeper. We've never really had an issue with Faith sleeping in our bed. you know, obviously the normal toddler stuff, you know, when they're frightened and those sort of things, they come into your room and that's fine, nightmare, that sort of thing. But we don't plan on having the baby sleep in our bed, you know, other than when I'm nursing and those sort of things. But I don't plan on co-sleeping, no. Will you use a stroller? Will you use a stroller versus a carrier? I plan on using both, actually. We have a stroller that we've purchased, like a travel system with a car seat and stroller. But I also would like to use a carrier as well, just for around the house. We take the dog for lots of hikes and runs, and so I'll use it for that. Once like the baby gets a little bit older, we plan on buying like a jogging stroller, like an all-terrain stroller that we can put the baby in there as well. So I actually plan on using both. Will you go back to work or stay at home? Well, I left work, turned the position down and stayed home with Faith and run a home daycare out of my house for the time being, and I plan on to continue to do that until the baby's a little older, and then I'll go back out into the field. After the newborn stage, how long will you let your child cry before going to them? This is a very controversial subject. I don't want to let them cry too long, but I don't see a problem with letting them cry a bit, because they do need to learn how to self-soothe. And we did that same method with Faith, and you know, she became such a great sleeper. You know, you'd put her to bed and she'd go right to bed and there was no issues. Obviously you can kind of tell by their cries, you know, whether they're hungry or they're hurt, like in pain, or they, you know, they're uncomfortable, they need a diaper change, that sort of thing. As a mom and a dad too, you kind of learn those things. So if it's something like that, then obviously they need to be attended to. But if it's just because they don't want to be in there, or they just want attention, or you know, they don't want to go to bed, obviously once they're older, I have no problems with letting them cry for a bit, just to kind of let them self-soothe themselves. Obviously if it continues on for too long, then you need to go in and help them out. And like I said, that's our opinion and whatnot. Some people they don't like that at all. So I don't judge those people who don't let their babies cry at all. It's to each its own. It's whatever works for whatever family. How often will you bathe your child? This is kind of an odd question, I thought. Is whenever they need it. Obviously, I'll like cloth for the new baby. I'll wipe her down probably daily, especially because, you know, milk, like, it goes down their neck, and if you don't clean, especially if they're roly-poly, they get stuff stuck, and that's gross. So I'll probably, you know, do like a cloth bath or wipe her down daily, getting her right in the tub maybe every other day or so, every 2 days, depending on, you know, the situation and the occasion, and if there's something special going on and whatnot. I'm losing my spot every time. Will you do extended rear-facing car seat? Oh, extended rear-facing car seat. I'd never really heard anything about this until recently, about extending past the 1 year. When Faith was a year old, she went from rear-facing to a new car seat that was front-facing. But she was quite big. Like she had outgrown her infant car seat, and the car seat that we had was rear-facing, and it was front-facing, and it wasn't able to be a rear-facing car seat. That's something that I need to actually kind of talk to my husband more about, because this isn't something that 5 years ago, you know, Faith, like, this wasn't an issue then. So that's something that we'll kind of, I guess, closer to the time. Like, we never found it a problem with Faith being front-facing when she was a year old, so I guess we'll have to wait and see for that one. Will you breastfeed, and if so, for how long? I do plan on breastfeeding. I breastfed Faith until she was 7 months. So this one I plan on at least until about the same time. I'm contemplating going a full year, but when they start growing teeth, it starts to get uncomfortable for me. That's my own personal preference. Please don't judge. But that's just something about the teeth that I don't know. But I do, you know, if I can go the full year, I'll do the full year. So yeah, but definitely gonna breastfeed. It's amazing. It's such an amazing thing for your child if you can do it. It's a great bond between you and your baby. And I do plan on pumping breast milk a little bit once the baby is a bit older, so as my husband and my daughter can help out with feedings too, just because Faith's already asking to feed her and she's not even here yet. So yes, so we will breastfeed. And I actually talked in one of my videos before about I had a nightmare once that the baby wouldn't breastfeed, and I was devastated. She wouldn't take to the breast. When we introduce solids, baby food, it'll like 6 months, then we'll start, obviously still main like breastfeeding and whatnot, but then start to introduce more solids at that time, I think. Boy or girl first? We're all girls here. Names, we do have a name, but it's a secret, so you'll have to wait till her birthday to find that out. How many kids do you want? This is it. We have my stepdaughter, who will be 9 in September, my daughter Faith, who is 5, and then the baby, who will be our last. Will you homeschool? No. You know what, if I could homeschool, and that would be awesome, but that's just not my thing. For those of you who do it, that's amazing. And I think if I was to homeschool, I would only homeschool until about high school, and then I would maybe put them into like a high school, like a public high school, just so they get that whole social aspect of it as well, because that's part of half the fun of school, right? You go and you get your education, but you also have that social aspect as well. You know, you get to interact with your peers and you learn a lot from that. But no, I don't plan on homeschooling. Home or hospital birth? Hoping to have a home birth, getting my iron up, and if I have to have a hospital birth, then so be it. I did have a hospital birth with Faith, but as of right now, I'm really hoping to have a home birth. Planned epidural or natural? Because I'm doing a home birth, natural. There are some pain management options available to me with that, but no plans of an epidural at the moment. That may change. The 2 most common reasons for being transferred to the hospital after, you know, having a home birth is your labor's not progressing and mom's wanting pain management. They want an epidural. So it is quite common to plan on having a home birth, and then midway through laboring you want the epidural, and so you end up going to the hospital anyways. So planning on a natural birth, planning on a home birth. Things may change. Will you drink while pregnant? No. And this has in brackets the occasional glass of wine. I don't think they intended on that being an ignorant question, meaning, you know, like who's going to drink and who's not while they're pregnant. Because some doctors do say that it is okay to have an occasional glass of wine or an occasional beer. The OB that I had for my daughter told me that the occasional glass of wine was fine. I could never do it subconsciously. I just could not do it. And same with this pregnancy. So, you know, if your doctor has told you that that's fine, and you know, you're getting together with some friends and you have a glass of wine and you feel like that's fine and your doctor has told you that's fine, like I said before, to each his own, but I'm not comfortable with that, so that's not something that I take part in. Will you cloth diaper or use disposables? We plan on using disposables. So many of you moms out there, I admire you're doing the cloth diapering thing. I just don't think that I could do it, to be honest with you. And you talk about, especially your moms that have already had your babies and you're starting to use your cloth diapers, and you're talking about doing laundry like every day, every other day. And I know some of you probably have a ton of diapers and you could probably go longer than that, but we're just on the go so much. And, you know, my stepdaughter has extracurriculars and my daughter has extracurriculars and my husband has extracurriculars, and I'm on the go with my stuff, and we're just so much on, I've repeated myself like a ton of times now, but we're just go so much that I just think the cloth diapers just would not suit our lifestyle. I am all for, you know, saving money and going green. We try to do all those sorts of things as much as possible. And like I said, if I could do the cloth diapering, I would totally, but I really just don't think that is what's for our family at the time being. We did talk about it, because it is something that would be awesome to be able to do. And who knows, maybe down the line it'll be something that we try out. But as of right now, it's not something that's in the cards for us. So there are no right or wrong answers or perfect answers or whatever. That's the planning tag for us and what works and what we're doing with our family. So if you want to do that and take part, then feel free. And I hope you enjoyed. And if you have any questions on anything, comments, leave them below. And if you want to subscribe and you haven't, subscribe and follow us along. I already did my 34-week video, so the next video you should see is a 35-week video. Okay, see you later, guys. Bye.